So far, so good. Things do not seem to have gotten worse since yesterday's video, which is definitely a very good sign because the last week has been really up and down. It varies depending on the day. And yes, I'm aware it can still vary from different, throughout the day. So I don't want to get my hopes up, but so far, so good. Now, before we get into the details of that, um, let me just point something out. You may have noticed that I seem to be wearing the same clothes lately, and that is because I am. And there's two very good reasons for that. First of all, I'm sick, so I have the perfect excuse to wear the same clothes multiple days in a row. Plus, because I'm sick, I pretty much just lie around all day and don't really do much, so it's not like my clothes get very dirty anyway. Second reason is the fact that, unfortunately, I'm still currently living alone. And I'm kind of taking advantage of this situation and the fact that my wife is not living with me yet to be as gross as I want to be. Because as men, we kind of need a certain degree of grossness. Women probably won't understand, and that's okay. There was a reason why I was observing that the other day when I was at the beach with my dad a couple weeks ago. And there was a family nearby, a mother, a father, a daughter, and a son. And the brother was just like, hands down in the dirt, like in the sand, just like playing, covering himself in mud and everything. And he was just like having a blast, enjoying getting as filthy as possible. And the father and the daughter were nearby, digging a hole. And every once in a while, the daughter would go to the ocean and fill a pail with water and then come back and dump it in the hole and then wash her feet in the hole because they were covered in sand. So you kind of see the difference between girls and guys. Obviously, they were just kids. It's just one example. Not everybody's the same. But, in general, guys enjoy getting dirty, enjoy every once in a while doing gross stuff. That doesn't mean we're generally gross. But, it's just part of who we are. And generally speaking, most women do not. Which is definitely not a bad thing. But anyway, all that to say, yes, I have been wearing the same clothes for a while, and I am completely comfortable with that. In fact, I'm taking advantage of it because at this point, I really don't care what anybody thinks. No one sees me aside from on these videos. And, even if I did decide for some reason, I wouldn't do that because that would be gross. But let's say I decided for some reason that, you know what, for a month, I'm not going to shower. Well, even if I decided to do that, which, I would never do. But anyway, even if, this is a video, you couldn't smell me, it wouldn't matter. Even if I was literally physically filthy and I looked filthy, doesn't matter. You still, wouldn't be able to touch it. You wouldn't be able to smell it or anything. So it really doesn't impact anyone else. And of course, I'm still a human being. When I go out in public, I like to, not be a complete slob. So yes, I do change my clothes and stuff like that. But anyway, I feel like we spent way too much time talking about hygiene and how gross I'm trying to be, or how gross I could be, and choose not to be. Anyway, so as I was saying before, things seem to be stable, seem to be slowly getting better. So if you remember my last video, 2 nights ago really, really sucked. I barely slept. It took like 3 hours trying to sleep, wasn't able to sleep, finally got up, watched TV for a couple of hours, finally was tired enough to go back to sleep, had trouble breathing all night, and I was coughing a lot and, didn't really sleep that much. So yesterday I was exhausted and I woke up, still had breathing issues, still coughing, still sucked. But I'm like, I need food. So I went for a walk and that made me feel better. And I'm like, okay, let's see how long it lasts, But it actually ended up lasting the entire day. And yeah, okay, it did take me a couple hours to fall asleep. But the thing is, for the last, I think about 3 nights, because I have a cold and because it is starting to get better, when I'm sleeping, I breathe through my nose. And for some reason, probably because my nasal passage is slightly congested, not enough to stop me from breathing completely and forcing me to breathe from my mouth, but just enough that it kind of restricts it a bit. So I feel like it just dries out my nasal passageways more than normal. And as a result of that, when I wake up in the middle of the night or in the morning, it's just like it's so dried out and like this is gonna sound gross, but crusted with phlegm and snot and stuff like that, um, that it's difficult for me to breathe. And not just like, just blowing my nose, like that doesn't fix the issue. It's literally like I need to wait till morning till I get up and, start moving around and actually, brush my teeth and do everything that I need to do to really clear my nasal passageway in order to be able to kind of go back to breathing normally and everything. So that's kind of been annoying and an issue, and that's partially what kept me from sleeping 2 nights ago. But yesterday, even though that did happen, I did wake up in the middle of the night and did feel that dryness, same as before. And I'm like, oh, okay, here it goes. It did not, for some reason, keep getting worse until morning, which is normally what happens. It just kind of stayed at that level for a while and then slowly, gradually got better until I woke up. Now, obviously, I don't know exactly how long that took, exactly how it happened, or any of that, because I was sleeping most of the time. Like, yes, I still wake up and change positions, and every once in a while I go to the bathroom, but it's like, overall, most of that time was spent sleeping. So, but anyway, all that to say, I had a relatively good night, even though it was a little long to fall asleep, and I did have that dryness in the nose at night, which sucked. But at least it didn't gradually get worse throughout the night till morning. So I'm thinking, all right, first of all, that's a good sign. It means today's going to be better. And as you can probably tell so far, seem to be breathing a lot better, not coughing a lot. Mornings are usually better in general, so that doesn't mean anything. And I haven't gone for my walk yet. I'm going to restart walking. I still need to buy a couple of stuff at the grocery store because I did go yesterday. But, because I was still kind of in a very limited state when I went, I'm like, I'll just take the bare essentials that I need. And now I guess I could take the, I don't know, deer essentials, the moose essentials, whatever is the opposite of bare essentials. That was a joke, by the way. Like a bear, anyway. Moving on. See, I'm able to make jokes again. Sure, they're bad jokes, but that's always been the kind of jokes I made anyway, so this is a good sign, people. This is a good sign. So yeah, once again, I don't want to get my hopes up. I don't know what to expect, but it does seem like things are getting better and my cold is slowly coming to an end. Because of the 2 nights before that, if this night had been the same, I probably would have been like, all right, now that I can start walking again, even though very slowly, maybe I should go to the pharmacy and ask the pharmacist, like, hey, here's the situation. Do you recommend anything? Maybe nasal spray? I don't know. The reason why I haven't tried that is, one, I already have so many medications I'm taking at this point that I'm like, I don't really feel like adding another one unless I really, really, really have to. Plus, it's the middle of the night. I'm sleeping. How am I gonna spray myself anyway? So it doesn't really make sense. But if it kept going, I'm like, you know what? Let's be realistic. Let's face fact. It's keeping me from sleeping and slowing down my recovery. So let's do what we gotta do. But since last night was better, I'm optimistic, and I'm gonna wait till tonight. And tonight's kind of going to determine things. If it's like last night or better, obviously, then I don't need to do anything. If it kind of goes back to what it was before and then I just wake up like super dry nose and like super stuffed and breathing issues as a result of that, then I'll go to the pharmacy and see what options they suggest. So, overall, so far so good. That seems to be the kind of the theme for today. Yesterday was good, bad, who gives a, or like just that sensation of I don't know if it's getting better or worse. That was kind of yesterday. Today is things definitely seem to be getting better so far. Hopefully tomorrow will be okay, things are definitely getting better. In a couple of days I'll be back to normal. I hope that's a video I get to make tomorrow. But you never know, and that's what cancer has taught me. You can never know what to expect. Trying to foresee things never works out the way you expect it to, so just go with the flow and see what happens. So that's what I'm gonna do. Go with the flow, and no, I'm not talking about the flow snot coming out of my nose. Not right now, literally, physically, I'm just making another bad joke, just to kind of illustrate I am doing better. Not quite back to being myself yet, but definitely better, and it feels good. I feel good. Okay. That was the end of the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.